Talking all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from your favorite sports memo handicapper now until Super Bowl 56 on February 6th, 2022 for only $799. As an added bonus, for a limited time, customers who take advantage of the Super Bowl to Super Bowl All Access Pass will receive $100 in wager bucks to use on any capper at sportsmemo.com over the next 12 months. Just head over to sportsmemo.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts drop-down menu, and lock them in through next year for only $2 a day.
Welcome all to Wager Talk Today. He's Teddy Covers. I'm Lawrence Presman. What a show we've got lined up for you all. Marc Lawrence, literally in 3-4 minutes. We're going to talk Super Bowl. We're going to talk Super Bowl a lot this week. Mark's going to give us his thoughts on the big game. Also break down the Phoenix-Dallas second game. It was a few nights ago. Teddy Covers has his big game breakdown, but first, Teddy, let's get right into it. Bad beats, bad bets. Tell us what's going on.
Sure, absolutely. Little bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. A recap of what just happened in the sports betting world. Couple of bad beats worth talking about from yesterday's action. Let's talk about Philly and Indiana in the NBA. The Pacers were minus 2.5 after Embiid ruled out for Philly, and the total sitting at 221. Indiana's up 13 after 3. As Pacers are over the whole way. They're up 10 with under 6 minutes to play. 106-96 Indiana. Final score, 119-110 Philly. Pacers scored 6 points in the last 8 minutes at home. 0 made shots. Lots of missed free throws. The game stays under. Only needed 1 Pacers make to go over in the last 2 minutes. Didn't get there. The over's a tough beat. And the Pacers, a tough beat in that one as well. Philly and under get the money. In college hoops, certainly a bad beat worth talking about. Syracuse, NC State, the total 148. It's sitting at 144 with 6 seconds left. The Wolfpack jack a wild 3. They get fouled. They sink all 3 free throws and then just enough time to foul 1 more. Equals 2 more free throws. All 5 free throws go down. Under 148, sorry, game lands 149. Syracuse, NC State, that was tough. Bad bets, Utah Jazz. Hey, they had 11-game winning streak and playoff revenge. Early start game against Denver. Donovan Mitchell was upgraded to probable. Nuggets from minus 1.5 to plus 2.5. All the money came on Utah. The 11-game winning streak was over by halftime. Denver was 15 of 17 from three-point range in the first half. Nuggets win by 11. All the Utah money was a bad bet. And, of course, in college hoops, they bet Sparty again yesterday at Ohio State. Michigan State opened plus 8, down as low as 5.5. Sparty wasn't much better in that game. They were against Rutgers. Blown out again in the second half. Lose by 17. Bad for books last night, the Nets and Wizards. Well, let's see. Nobody bet the game under, and there was 0 sharp money on the Nets either. Total close 245. The Wizards steal the game, win outright. 149-146. Books lose side and total in that one. And last but not least, bad for books, there was a wise guy party betting against Drake yesterday, the last undefeated team, ATS in college hoops. And the betting markets finally figured out the point spread range that they'll be weak in. Not as dogs, not as single-digit chalk, but the Bulldogs weren't primed to lay 21 to a conference foe. All the money on Illinois State. The Redbirds took them to OT before falling short. A wire-to-wire cover. There's a rematch tonight with a similar point spread. That said, Drake probably primed to improve on their 4 of 30 shooting from three-point range yesterday. There you have it, Prez. Back to you.
Nice summary of what went on there, Teddy. What an ending to that Washington-Brooklyn game. You don't see that very often. Marc Lawrence joining us. And Marc, such a pleasure to have you on Wager Talk today. How are you? How was your weekend?
My weekend, great, Lawrence. I couldn't think of any better way to start the week than just have a morning cup of coffee with both you and Mr. Covers.
Marc, before we get into the Super Bowl, let's really just talk super quick. Teddy, I'd love to hear your thoughts as well. Rams, Lions just made a massive trade, and My take right off the bat is the Rams are going to be one awesome football team next year. Their defense was number one this past year, only 18 points allowed. And now they've got a quarterback who sees the field really, really well, going to fit in really nice with McVay's offense. I love this trade. I like it from both sides. Teddy, quick thoughts?
The Lions got fleeced. Again, Stafford, there were multiple teams interested in Matthew Stafford. The Lions, I think, negotiated with one of them seriously. We're like, okay, we'll take this deal. The first-round picks they get are way in the future. They're devalued off the current marketplace. In Detroit, great, a first-round pick in 2027. That'll make Lions fans feel good. And Jared Goff's going to be a disaster. And they picked up his contract in Detroit. I know the Rams paid for some of it, but I agree with your assessment that the Rams legit, and of course the betting markets are right there. I think the Rams are the third favorite to win the Super Bowl next year, and I think they deserve to be priced there. As for the Lions, the perennial rebuilding continues.
Mark, any thoughts on the trade?
Well, on the surface, this looks a lot like the DeAndre Hopkins trade that Houston made to Arizona, one-sided, like Teddy referenced, in favor of the Rams. The only thing different here is that the LA Rams hocked their future in doing just this. They don't have a first-round draft pick for, I think it's 2024, and it's been since 8 years now since they've had a first-round pick when they do make that. So they're putting it all in. They're going all in right now with Matthew Stafford here, and I think they need to do just that. A good trade for the Rams this football season, next football season, but down the road, it may end up costing them in the end.
Marc Lawrence joining us, everybody. Teddy Covers. I'm the Prez. You're watching Wager Talk today. Mark, let's get straight into it. Super Bowl this Sunday. A line movement not happened yet. Still sitting at -3 for Kansas City. I'd love to know your thoughts, especially given that you are by nature a dog bettor. So I'm guessing you're going to tell us why Tampa Bay is the right side.
Well, first of all, I think the line in this game is spot on perfect, and I don't think it's going to move beyond the 3 points. If it touches 3.5, it might be in only certain books that are getting pounded with Kansas City money in that sense. But I think it's a really sharp number that they put on this football game. Obviously, it's all about the quarterbacks here. Patrick Mahomes, who's won 25 of his last 26 starts. Unbelievable. Tom Brady looking for another Super Bowl ring, dressing up as a home underdog here, no less. You can make cases for both of these quarterbacks until the cows come home. And you can make good cases for both of the quarterbacks. This might well come down to the coaching, the head coaching in this football game. Andy Reid, Bruce Arians, who do you like? I happen to like Bruce Arians as a head coach. I think Andy Reid gets by with a lot of mistakes and things that he does. We saw that in the game against the Cleveland Browns, and he did it somewhat last year in the Super Bowl game itself. Bruce Arians comes in here. I don't think he'll be out-coached in this football contest here. What really jumps out to me here, though, Lawrence, is take a look at Bruce Arians. Everybody knows, or take a look at Andy Reid, I should say. Everybody knows about his record when he's got extra time to prepare. He's been really, really good in his career. Yeah. But look at him in the postseason when he's had an extra week to get ready for a football game. He's been in 9 of them, and he's gone dead under in 8 of those football games. A lot of people are going to be expecting a high-scoring football affair here, but if Andy Reid has his way, it could be low-scoring rather than high.
So that's an interesting assessment right there. When you're talking about the Reid's track record in these games is towards under, because all we think about with Kansas City is overs. We think about Andy Reid as an offensive-minded head coach. And yet, if you talk about where the sharp money has come on the Super Bowl so far, sidewise, it's not there. There's two-way action. The impression I'm getting is that this isn't going to be a Super Bowl where there's a clear, sharp position on the game when it comes to the side. But total-wise, it's pretty clear right now, Mark, that sharp money likes the under in this one. Agree?
Agree, and I think they like it for the right reasons in this football game here. And I think what they see here, Teddy, a lot of is Kansas City, before they woke up in their last football game, if you will, to get here, they were lethargic. I mean, they couldn't top 30 points. Every game practically was a one-score affair. They just certainly aren't hitting on all cylinders or weren't at that particular time. Now they've got an extra week to get ready here for this, but you've also got Bruce Arians who won't be outcoached, like I said, in this football game here. Kansas City's won every game they played on the road away from Arrowhead this year. They're 8-0. That works in their favor here. But you do have a home field advantage here for Tampa Bay. Maybe not fans in the stands, but at least the comfort of staying at home, waking up in your home bed, and going to the stadium that particular day rather than having the hassle of travel, hotels, and all the COVID issues.
Yeah.
So I think the home field does work in Tampa Bay's favor here. And I also think the under will be the play in the game as well.
Marc Lawrence, everybody. And Mark, it's funny you talk about that, the comfort of their own bed, the comfort of their own home. Last Monday, we had Matthew Barnaby join us, a 15-year NHL vet. And he actually spoke about, well, I'll summarize in the way only the Prez can. Too much estrogen in a man's house. No estrogen in a hotel room. And when there's no estrogen, there's comfort. So that goes both ways. But interesting take on the under. And you like Tampa Bay a little bit as well?
I think they have to be attractive. If you take a look, Lawrence, if for no other reason, the fact that you do have Tom Brady in a rare home underdog role. You take a look at Tom Brady in his career, when he has not been favored at home, 14 games, he's 12-1-1 against the spread. Pretty strong role here for Tom Brady to have to dress up in here in this football game. But he has some complementary players around him that just aren't getting credit this football season here. One is Leonard Fournette, who I think is an outside shot to be an MVP in this football game. And I certainly like him in a prop to score at least one touchdown in this football game. I think he is to this football team like James White was to Tom Brady in New England. That's what Leonard Fournette will prove to be in this game.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one more Super Bowl question, Mark, before we move on to the NBA. And I want to ask you, you said this point spread is spot on with KC -3, and a lot of places KC -3, -120. Do you think that this point spread is spot on given the differential between these two teams? Or do you think it's spot on because Kansas City has been such a point spread nightmare for the last, since the beginning of November? They covered one spread, and it came last week. Do you think the Chiefs are properly valued now because they've been so bad ATS for so long, but they won last week, so they've got the bandwagon back? Or do you think this 3 would have been appropriate, even if KC had gone, let's say, 5-5 down the stretch ATS instead of 1-9?
Well, if they'd have gone 5-5 down the stretch, you probably would have seen this game open 3.5 solid because of the support and the anticipated money that they're going to be getting on the Chiefs from the public in this contest. But I think the answer to your questions, Teddy, are yes and yes. You're right on both accounts. But another reason that I think the 3 is the right number in the game is simply because it's a 3, which is really, as you know, Teddy, the strongest number in all of football. The odds makers feel the most comfortable with a game being set up at 3. Games fall on 3 14% of the time, more often than any other number. So that all, with what you mentioned here, I think makes this line a real strong line.
Marc Lawrence, everyone. Mark, let's talk some actionable info for tonight's NBA card. Phoenix playing Dallas. Dallas -3, a total of 216.5, which is a 0.5 point more than the total it was a couple of nights ago. And although Teddy didn't mention it, anybody playing the under a couple of nights ago in that game, oh my God, that was a bad beat for the ages as well. 203 with 20 seconds to go, and somehow it miraculously ended at 216. Dallas did not look good, nor did they look good against Utah the 2 games in a row. Yet they find themselves a favorite. What do you like in this game?
I'm going to look at the Dallas Mavericks in this basketball game here, Lawrence, for a couple of reasons. Number one, they've been dominant in this series when they come in here off 3 successive losses in a row. Lose the money, lose the games all 3 times in a row. The last 6 times they've cashed the ticket, 5 of those 6 games. They do have double revenge. They've been taken out twice by Phoenix this basketball season here. But what you look at here is one of these games that we're seeing a lot of in the NBA this year. This is right back rematch, which the NBA has scheduled and factored into their scheduling because of the COVID situation. And I've been playing a lot with right back rematch to see where edges may lie, and this game holds one of those edges. Basically, the short and simple of it is, in right back rematches in the NBA, you look at the home team who took the loss, if the loss was by single digits the first game, which is exactly what this game is here. That all points to Dallas to this basketball game and me, and I will lay the small win situation type number, -3 at home against Phoenix in this game.
So it's a Mavs team that's been in a pretty brutal scheduling stretch of late. And Rick Carlisle was making excuses about it. We heard multiple players making excuses about it. We had a situation where Dallas had a no-show first half in Utah prior to the game against Phoenix last time. And Luka kind of called out his teammates. And then we saw down the stretch of the game where they played Phoenix the other night, guys on the court, complaining to each other about defensive rotations. Are you worried at all about the spot here for Dallas, I guess is what I'm getting at. It's a team that hasn't played great ball of late, appears to be having some internal chemistry issues, and they're certainly not rested and ready given the brutal slate they faced over the last 2 weeks.
I can draw Luka to a parallel with perhaps a LeBron James in that he is indeed not only the best player on this team, but you can make a case for him being the best player in the entire league. And I don't see a player like this letting losing streaks continue, especially at home after taking a home loss in a situation just like this. I also happen to like the Phoenix Suns. I got to tell you this, Teddy, on record here. I think they're a real sleeper basketball team. And what they did last year in the bubble was not a fluke. Okay, when they won and covered all 8 games in Orlando in the bubble here, that really put them with a big, big momentum factor to come into this basketball season here. And we're going to see a lot of them in the playoffs because they play defense. And that makes them a nice basketball team to look forward to moving on here. But they were struggling, Phoenix was, until they win this basketball game against Dallas, and the game before they were on a losing slide straight up in against the spread. I think Luka wakes this Dallas Maverick team up and wins this basketball game comfortably.
I'll tell you, it's amazing watching Luka. His body language says so much. You want to do some in-game betting, just look at Luka on the court. That guy gets mad when he's losing, but more importantly, he gets down. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but he starts to sulk. And that would probably be a good time to jump on the other side. Marc Lawrence, everybody. Marc, what an awesome way to kick off Super Bowl week. We can't thank you enough for joining us. You are just a mentor figure to me and a wise young man. Guys, so much more show left. Marc, what do you have to promote real quick?
I got a big game in the NBA tonight. It will not be what we mentioned, the Dallas Mavericks, but a bigger game with that. And as you know, Lawrence, I've got my big 5% play in the Super Bowl with all the reasons why. Check it out, sportsmemo.com.
Yeah, and guys, if you haven't read Marc Lawrence's analysis, you got to go check that out. I mean, Ralph comes on and spouts Marc. We all spout Marc. So get it from his mouth. Head over to Sports Memo and grab his 5% play. Matt Joseph. Literally in a few minutes, we're going to talk NFL props. Teddy's got a great big game breakdown. Stay with us, everybody. So much more to go.
Lock in all sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from your favorite Sports Memo handicapper now until Super Bowl 56 on February 6th, 2022 for only $799. As an added bonus, for a limited time, customers who take advantage of the Super Bowl All Access Pass will receive $100 in wager bucks to use on any capper at sportsmemo.com over the next 12 months. Just head over to sportsmemo.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts drop-down menu, and lock them in through next year for only $2 a day.
For today's big game breakdown. Right now we have Texas Tech, excuse me, -7, total of 134.5 at home against Oklahoma. All the money has come for the Red Raiders and heavy money for the under this morning. This team was totaled 138.5 when I went to sleep last night. I woke up, it was 134.5. So it's been a big move towards the under in Texas Tech and Oklahoma today. These two teams, I'll just say this, all right? I'm not stepping in front of Oklahoma, all right? They talk about a good month of January. They beat 4 top 10 teams in January: West Virginia, Kansas, Texas, and Alabama. The best January record since 2016, which was when Oklahoma had a Final Four run. Lon Kruger's team, I'm not saying they're live for a Final Four run this year, but they're certainly not a team I have any rush to step in front of. Of course, these two teams met back in December, 69-67. Texas Tech won that game on the road. Oklahoma's not healthy like they were then. They were missing Austin Reeves and Leonard Williams over the Crimson Tide due to COVID-19 protocols. They're going to be out again tonight. Hence, all the money coming for Texas Tech. You see some of the Lon Kruger quotes. Quote, "Our depth has been key all year. Whether it be foul trouble or COVID or sprained ankle or whatever, guys off the bench have played their minutes well. We have a lot of guys we can rotate in there and hold their own. Devion Harmon, Elijah Harkless, Moshe Gibson, Bradley Manick, all double-digit scores over the weekend against Alabama, despite the fact they were missing 2 studs. Nothing but respect for Chris Beard and the Red Raiders, but if I'm playing this one, I'll be looking at Oklahoma plus the points, not Texas Tech minus. There you have it. Back to you, Mr. Prez.
Awesome stuff, Teddy. Guys, if you like the way Teddy breaks down games, we got a special up for him. Teddy 30. Teddy 30. Get 30 days of all Teddy covers plays for only $199. And this guy, well, he knows his stuff. That is for sure. I handpicked him to sit next to me on this show. Why? It's not how great his hair is. It's how great his analysis is. Matt Joseph joining us. Matt, before we even get to you, I got to ask everybody to hit that like button. Guys, come on. Teddy and I scream and yell at each other on Friday and get 0 thumbs down. Today it's a love fest. We have 3 thumbs down. What's up with that? Let's go. Please hit that like button. Get it up to 100 for us. Matt Joseph joining us. 17-6 your last 23 college basketball picks. 12-6 your last 18 NFL props. We're talking NFL props today. But before we get into that, how are you, my friend? And has Tinder been good to you of late?
Tinder, huh? I don't use Tinder. What are you talking about? I meet my
You
women
just stand
there
in a grocery
naturally.
store and spin? You just stand in a grocery store and spin?
Exactly. I do what everybody else does nowadays. It's the COVID world. You meet people in different ways. You meet them in the vaccination line or the COVID testing line, whatever. It's been good. I had a good weekend.
Matt's had his 16th vaccination in the last 2 weeks.
I mean, it's possible. The women are attractive in the vaccination line. That's for sure.
No doubt, Matt. No doubt.
I'm taking the under.
Guys, I got Matt twice today. NFL presidential address, 4 p.m. Eastern. Matt Joseph, myself, Ralph Michaels, and Andy Lang joining us. Matt, we got to get straight into it, man. You got so many props here. This is just awesome stuff. Guys, get your pen ready. Take this down. Matt is as good as they come in NFL props. And let's start right off the bat with Leonard Fournette. What do you got for us?
Well, I mean, Mark talked about it in his little part, but he likes Leonard Fournette. I do too. I think you're going to get some good value on Leonard Fournette to score a touchdown. If you look at what he's done, he's had touchdowns in 4 of his last 6 games, 7 overall. I think this is a Tampa Bay team that may not throw it as much as we think. I think, look, you can't really get into a back and forth shootout with Kansas City. Certainly, Tampa Bay has the weapons to do so, but I think we're going to see them run the ball quite a bit. And if you look at the amount of carries and touches that Fournette has had this postseason, 48 carries, 14 receptions so far. I think he could break 1. I think there's a chance he could get 2 touchdowns. And heck, I even think there's a chance you sprinkle a little bit on him to be the MVP. I really do think as of Monday, I'm leaning to the Buccaneers to win this game. And so I think they win it more on Leonard Fournette's back than Tom Brady's back.
So if Tampa's going to run the football like you expect them to do, is Fournette the lock to get the majority of carries and rushes? They're going to split carries.
I think that what they've done as of late, when the games have gotten more important, they've used Fournette, especially in those short yardage times. I mean, look, he's not going to play. He's a slightly older running back, so he's not going to play as much as 80% of the snaps. So Ronald Jones will come in, but I think Fournette will get the goal line carries, Fournette will get the red zone carries, and Fournette will get the carries that matter in the fourth quarter. And that's why I think scoring one touchdown or more could be the way to go in this one.
And a little sprinkle.
Sorry, Teddy. Go ahead, Teddy.
A little sprinkle on the MVP. Let's talk about Gronk. Gronk is obviously a betting public favorite, and deservedly so. He's made people a fair bit of money over the years. You're not targeting him for the full game. You're just targeting his first catch. Tell me why.
Yeah, and also the important thing for this bet is I've looked in 3 different places, and it's 3 different yards. So as Teddy always says, and as everybody always says, make sure to shop around and get the best number for this one, because when you're talking about yards, you need every yard to go in your favor. I'm looking at Gronk to go over 9.5 yards in his first reception. And you look, he's got just 6 receptions his last 5 games. Those went for 29, 14, 18, 11, 33, and 25 yards. He had 6 receptions against the Chiefs in their regular season game, and the Chiefs are allowing about 10 yards per catch to tight ends this season. 5.3 receptions for 59.6 yards. I think there's some value here. We've seen Gronk block a lot, but we've also seen him get downfield when he is actually getting the ball. 2 weeks ago it was a screen pass, but he broke it off for a big gain. So I think Gronk, his first catch of the game, is going to be a healthy one. And if he doesn't have any catches, which he did in that Washington game, then it's a no play and you get your money back anyway.
Yeah, Matt, I really like this bet. I mean, every time Gronk gets the ball, it seems to be an 18, 20-yard pass. So that makes a lot of sense to me. Daryl Williams, you've got a prop for him. So head over to Kansas City. What do you got for us?
Yeah, Daryl Williams is going to be an interesting guy to look at this week because the books are pricing him like he's going to get a lot of snaps. And if Le'Veon Bell plays, which we don't know, he didn't practice last week, but I didn't really expect him to. They're going to ease him back in. If Le'Veon Bell's active, he's going to get the ball and it's going to eat into Williams' snap. I like under 2.5 receptions for Daryl Williams. He's gone over this number only 3 times. And if Bell plays, Williams is going to play about 10, 15% of the snaps here. There's still Clyde Edwards-Helaire. This might be one of those bets you have to weigh the possibilities. Do you take it now at 2.5 and hope that Bell doesn't play? Or do you wait and Bell, plays and this number goes down to 1.5 and you lose a valuable catch there? So it's really one of those things where you want to weigh the possibilities. Even if Bell doesn't play, I don't necessarily know if Williams is going to get 3 receptions. So I like under 2.5 receptions, whether Bell plays or not.
Do you really think that this line would move from 2.5 to 1.5 if Le'Veon Bell ends up being probable for Sunday? Because to me, that seems like a big move. And the books open themselves up to being middled on that.
Well, and the thing is, Teddy, there are books that have 1.5 and there are books that have 2.5. Now, the juice is heavy on the under for the 2.5s, and the 1.5 is actually somewhat juiced to the over here. So you could theoretically try and middle it with the 2, but I've already seen a bunch of different places, 2.5s and 1.5. So if you could find the 2.5, I take the under. If you find the 1.5, you consider the over, and maybe you try for that healthy middle of 2 on Daryl Williams.
Sure, though with the juice, sometimes it's hard to make those middles on Super Bowl Sunday profitable. Let's talk about Tyreek Hill as someone who you've targeted as a potential. Well, no, this isn't potential. These are bets you like. As a bet that you like for Sunday. Tyreek Hill, longest reception. We going over or under?
We're going over here, and once again, this is one of those things where you got to find your specific book because every yard matters, and there were several numbers for this. I found 27.5, and he's gone over this number in 5 of his last 7, 10 times overall. If you remember 2 weeks ago, he drops that very first pass that was for 30 yards or so, would have gone over easily. Eventually, it did go over. Against the Bucs, I mean, we all remember what he did in the Bucs during the regular season. He went over this number in 3 catches overall. The Bucs have actually allowed passes of this length or more all but 5 games this season, 24 plus receptions overall for the year. So they are vulnerable to the deep pass here. And Tyreek Hill's got a couple of go balls in him. I like over 27.5. Make sure to shop around. Find your best number here, but Tyreek Hill's going to break off a long reception in this game.
Matt Joseph couple more to go, man. This is a great segment. You're giving us all some information. You guys want more? Matt Joseph, 4 p.m. Eastern on the NFL Presidential Address. Matt, we do have a promo code for you. Why don't you give it out, my friend?
Yes, it is Prop 19. It is Prop 19. My Prop All Access Pass is up. It's $29. Use the promo code Prop at 19. You get it for $19. There's 3 props in there right now. And I'll start adding more as the week goes along, because then the cross-sport props come out, and there's other things that go on. And, of course, we wait for the injury report, COVID, because if anybody gets COVID positive, they are out for the game. I guess unless it's Mahomes or Brady, I think they would find a way to stretch the rules there. But still want to wait a little bit. So there's 3 props in there now, and as the week goes on, we'll add more and make your Super Bowl profitable.
Matt Joseph, everyone. Let's get into your last 2. Both teams will score a 33-yard field goal or longer. Interesting prop. Might not even have any field goals, and yet you like both, and nice and long ones. Tell us why.
Well, I mean, when you look, 33 is not that long when you look in terms of field goals. And if you go break down the numbers, which I kind of have, Tampa Bay is averaging 1.9 field goals per game this season, 2.7 over their last 3 games. Harrison Butker's kicked 4 field goals in the postseason alone. Ryan Succop's made 8 field goals in this postseason. Both of these teams are allowing 1.7 field goals per game over their last 3. I see about 4 or 5 field goals being kicked in this game. I think that, I'm leaning towards the under as of now for this game. And I just think the offenses will struggle a little bit when it comes to the red zone. So I think when you can get both teams to kick a field goal of 33 or more, there's some value there. And in some books, it's even money or better.
Yeah, that's the key, is that how that prop is priced at even money to ask 2 teams to kick long. Then, of course, you made an excellent point there that I want to emphasize here. If you like the over on both teams to kick a field goal of 33 yards or longer, you probably like the under for the game, although the red zone struggles for this particular length of field goal may not be an issue. Red zone struggles would generally lead to shorter field goals. Let's talk about a long shot prop that you like. And again, long shot props, we're talking about sprinkling. We're not talking about full units or necessarily even half of the units. We're talking about you take a taste. Give me a long shot prop that has a chance to cash in that you're targeting for Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah, and I would say my prop portfolio, guys, is probably 80% props I actually think are going to hit, and probably 20% on these long shots that if you hit one, it could potentially cover your whole day, win or lose. For this one, you see there's some books that offer the longest rush, and they list all the players who could potentially do it. I think it's worth it to sprinkle a little bit on both Tyreek Hill and Mecole Hardman. Now, look, they're both wide receivers, but it's Andy Reid, and he's got some trick plays up his sleeve. Tyreek Hill this year has rushes of 32 and 30 so far. Mecole Hardman has rushes of 50 and 20 so far. He had the 50 just a couple of games ago. And then you look at the running backs. I mean, look, the game-breaking ability of these running backs isn't exactly that big. You look at Clyde Edwards-Helaire. He's struggled as of late. Now, he's had some 27 and 31-yard rushes. Daryl Williams' longest rush this year was 16. Leonard Fournette's longest rush was 46. But other than that, he's had 20 and 24. And Ronald Jones had that 98-yard rush against the Carolina Panthers. But during the postseason, his long is 12 yards on 23 carries. So I think there's a shot that if anybody's going to break something in this game, it's going to be a wide receiver. So I think it's worth a little sprinkle. I saw in one book 8-1 for Tyreek Hill, a little bit more for Mecole Hardman. Tyreek Hill or Mecole Hardman to have the longest rush in the Super Bowl game is definitely worth a sprinkle, because these running backs are good, but I don't know how much of a game-breaking back they are.
Matt Joseph, everybody. Guys, head over to Sports Memo. Use the promo code PROP19, PROP19. You get all Matt's props for the Super Bowl for $19. And it's $9 Mondays. I got to let everyone know Dave Koken, he's got a very rare 5% play up in hockey. You guys can get it for only $9. Dave is 17 and 4. 17 and 4 in his last 21 5% plays, and that dates back over the calendar year. So, guys, you got to head over to WagerTalk, grab that prop. Teddy's got his opening line report coming up after this show. We got the college basketball show at 1:45, the NBA show at 2:45, and the NFL presidential address with Matt, myself, Andy, and Ralph at 4 p.m. Matt, I can't thank you enough for joining us. Guys, we got a brand new segment. You do not want to miss this.
Every Monday is $9 Mondays over at WagerTalk.com and SportsMemo.com. Get any best bet or daily package for only $9.
Welcome back to Wager Talk Today, everybody. A new segment we're starting today. Just a shout out to Ralph Michaels. He'll be joining us Wednesdays and Thursdays from here on in. We call this segment the penalty box. It's all me. It's 2 minutes, and we're going to start off with, well, the vaunted Bucs defense. So I get on TV last night. Jesse Palmer comes on. Everyone knows Jesse, handsome bachelor. He tells us that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a vaunted Bucs defense. Jesse, there's no story here, man. Like, they're not vaunted. They're not even legendary. There's nothing really that great about this Bucs defense. This isn't a defensive team for the ages. Sure, okay, they're number one in the league in stopping the run. Great. Kansas City won't mind. Stop them running. 6th in the league in yards, 4th in the league in sacks. We're not talking about Ray Lewis's Baltimore Ravens. They don't get the adjective vaunted. Let's look at how they go against the pass. They're the 21st best team defensively against the pass in the league. And they're playing Kansas City. 18th with QBR. And they're playing the best quarterback in the league. Washington put up 23 points against them. 23 points. Everybody puts up more than 20 against this vaunted Bucs defense. So Jesse Palmer, you are wrong. They are not this all-world defense. Now we got a free pick for all of you guys today in hockey. Calgary and Winnipeg over the total of 6. I love this play, guys. We have Winnipeg coming off their worst offensive game of the year. They put up 1 against Vancouver, but they're the 4th highest scoring team in the league. They played each other once already. It was 4-3, and there's so much bad blood. I expect a ton of power plays. I'll get better with this clock. That I promise. Take the over in Calgary and Winnipeg. Teddy covers. What an outstanding show, man.
Yeah, you got to give out a play. That was fun.
I'm gonna be giving out a play every day from here on in the penalty box segment. I thought I would actually see myself in a penalty box. I don't know if you know this, Teddy. It was hooking. Some fast dude skated around me, just hooked him. Then I got stuck in the damn penalty box. Anyway, shout out to Marc Lawrence. He likes the under in the Kansas City Tampa Bay game. He also liked Dallas in a double revenge spot against Phoenix. Teddy, you like Oklahoma tonight? And Matt Joseph, so many great props. I mean, really, the one that stood out to me was the over 9.5 yards for Gronk. Anything stand out to you?
A lot of stuff stood out to me from what, look, when Matt talks, I listen because the guy's good at what he does.
Yeah.
But Fournette to score stood out to me. Tyreek Hill longest reception stood out to me. And the long shot props. Again, you hit one of those, it'll make your day. I wouldn't argue with Tyreek Hill and or McCole Hardman to get the game's longest run.
Teddy, couple of quick Chip writes in there, do these free plays that we're going to be giving out by me at the end of the show take away from my free Twitter videos? No, they do not. And also, Teddy, I don't know if you noticed, but Wager Talk is on TikTok now. And the Wager Talk females put out some legendary TikTok. We had a guy in the chat room say, you need to do a better TikTok than the girls. Carmine calls me last night. He's like, we need to come up with a better TikTok than the girls. And then Vivian got on the phone and she pointed out to Carm, you can't do anything better than the girls. So I don't think we should even give it a shot, Teddy. Or do you have an idea on some legendary TikTok we can do?
So if you haven't seen the TikTok, you gotta check it out. It's Kelly and Minty and company. And it has like Super Bowl stuff, like sacks over under 3.5 on there. It has a Super Bowl theme to it. But I don't get like over under sacks and they're dancing. Like, what does that mean? You know, I didn't, and that's me being an old guy that doesn't understand. I don't understand it. That said, I'm happy to do it, dude. I will dance like nobody's business. You want to do a TikTok video? Might be funny. Might be really stupid.
Joe, let's figure out a way for Teddy and I to do a TikTok video. That's the show, everybody. I can't thank you guys all enough for joining us. Teddy 30 days of the great Teddy covers for only $199. Teddy, take us home, brother.
Sure. I'd like to thank our guest, Marc Lawrence, for joining us, Matt Joseph as well. I'd like to thank you for taking time out of your busy day to hang out with Prez and I here on WagerTalk Today. We will be back again in just over 23 hours, 9 a.m. Pacific time, noon on the East Coast on Tuesday, right here on WagerTalk Today. Between now and then, 2 things. Enjoy the games and good luck.
I mean, it's tricky. How is it, Dave? It's tricky. It's tricky to rock around.
All sports, all plays, all 5% best bets from your favorite sports memo handicapper now until Super Bowl 56 on February 6th, 2022 for only $799. As an added bonus, for a limited time, customers who take advantage of the Super Bowl All Access Pass will receive $100 in wager bucks to use on any capper at sportsmemo.com over the next 12 months. Just head over to sportsmemo.com, pick your favorite handicapper in the experts drop-down menu, and lock them in through next year for only $2 a day.